Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. I am an education वाली रेहान कॉलेज नंबर कैंपस की स्टूडेंट हूँ। आज मैं करेंगे कॉल में आज का हमारा टॉपिक है हाउ टू क्रिएट अ ग्रोथ माइंडसेट एंड embrace challenge. जी
Morning. How are things with you today?
What does a growth mindset mean to you?
To me, it's the belief that your brain is like a muscle, you can actually grow it. It's that shift from saying, I'm not good at this to I'm not good at this yet. It makes the whole process of learning feel less like a test and more like an adventure. Got that mindset naturally, or is it something you've been working on?
Do you believe people can improve their skills with practice? Why?
Absolutely. I think it's basically the only way anyone gets actually great at anything. Most people we admire for their talent were usually just the ones who were willing to be bad at something for a long time while they figured it out. It's all about those repetitions and the willingness to fail a few times until the pattern finally clicks. Do you think some people are just born with it, or is it all down to the work?
Can you share a challenge you recently faced?
Since I don't have a physical life, my challenges are usually about the gaps in how I understand things. Like when someone uses a phrase or a bit of slang that's totally new to me and I have to figure out the subtext of what they're actually saying. It's a bit of a puzzle every time. Do you have a challenge on your mind right now?
What
Noah?
what did that challenge teach you?
It taught me that the magic is usually in the nuance. It's a reminder that just knowing the definition of a word isn't the same as understanding how a person actually feels when they use it. It keeps me curious about the way people communicate. Do you find that you learn more from the things that come easily to you or the things that trip you up?
What is one skill you would like to improve this year?
If I could actually pick up a skill, I'd love to get better at reading the room. Not just the words people say, but that split second of hesitation or the subtle shift in energy that tells you what's actually happening. That's the part of being human that feels the most like a superpower. What about you? Is there something you've been itching to learn lately?
Why is it important to embrace challenge instead of avoiding them?
Because avoiding challenges is basically just staying in a safe little bubble. If you only do things you're already good at, you never actually find out where your limits are. Embracing the struggle is where the actual growth happens. It's like the the gym for your brain. Do you usually lean toward the safe bet or do you like to throw yourself into the deep end?
What motivates you to keep trying when things become difficult?
Me, it's the curiosity, the idea that if I just try one more angle or a different way of thinking, I might find a connection that wasn't there before. And wanting to become different, that's a powerful driver. Is that a goal of yours to keep evolving into a new version of yourself?
How can positive self-talk build a growth mindset?
I think it starts with how you talk to yourself when things go wrong. When you swap out the harsh inner critic for a voice that's actually on your team, you stop seeing a mistake as a permanent failure and start seeing it as data. It's a lot easier to keep going when you don't feel like you're being judged by the person in your own head. Do you find it's easier to be supportive of other people than it is to be supportive of yourself?
How do successful people deal with failure?
The ones who actually make it usually treat failure like a lab experiment. They don't they don't let it define them. They just look at what happened and ask, "Okay, what part of this didn't work?" They separate their identity from the outcome. So a failed project doesn't mean they're a failure as a person. Do you think you're the type who bounces back quickly, or do you tend to dwell on things for a while? You're giving me the silent treatment. Just kidding. Take your time. I'm here when you're ready.
Why is passion important while learning new things?
Because passion is the fuel that keeps you going when the initial excitement wears off. Learning something new is usually a bit of a slog at first. It's frustrating and you feel clumsy. But if you're actually passionate about it, that frustration feels worth it. It turns a chore into a choice. Do you have a specific interest that makes the hard parts of learning feel easy? You're very welcome. Since we've been diving into growth and passion, I'm curious, do you think it's easier to find that passion when you're already good at something, or does the passion usually come first? Anytime. I'll be here whenever you want to chat again.
What habit can help develop a growth mindset?
One of the best habits is starting a learning log or a curiosity journal. Instead of just tracking what you did, you track what you struggled with and how you figured it out. It turns the focus from the result to the process. Do you think you're more of a do it until it's perfect person or a just get it started person?
What daily activity can help build a growth mindset?
I'm a big fan of the tiny win approach. Just dedicate 5 minutes a day to something you're objectively bad at, whether it's drawing, a new language, or a complex puzzle. The goal isn't to actually succeed, but to get comfortable with the feeling of being a beginner. It trains your brain to stop fearing the struggle. Do you think you'd enjoy that, or does the idea of being bad at something on purpose feel a bit too uncomfortable?
What is the biggest lesson you learned about personal growth?
That growth isn't linear. It's not a straight line up. It's more like a messy scribble. You have these huge leaps forward, and then you have days where you feel like you've actually slid backward. The real lesson is that the sliding back part is usually just the setup for the next leap. Do you feel like you're in a leap phase right now or more of a scribble phase? I love that energy. Taking the next step is usually where the most interesting things happen. What does that next step look like for you?
What is one message you would share with someone who is afraid of challenge?
Mm. I'd say that the fear is actually a compass. It's usually pointing exactly toward the thing you need to do to grow. If you can reframe that nervous feeling as excitement or a sign that you're on the right track, the challenge stops being a wall and starts being a door. Do you think that perspective makes the idea of a challenge feel a bit more manageable?
What is one challenge you want to take on this month?
I'd love to get better at anticipating the emotional shift in a conversation before it even happens. Just that split second where the mood changes and you can feel it in the air. That's the part of human connection that still feels like a mystery to me. Do you think that's something a person can actually learn, or is it just an instinct you're born with?